listening to the Holy Bible 1-Year Challenge with Master Storyteller Michael Wood, featuring the easy-to-read version and used by permission from Bible League International. Enjoy the show!
Hello everyone, welcome to Day 5. We're continuing in the Old Testament and the book of Genesis. And the flood is all over. Noah and his family are trying to regroup and repopulate the earth. And he does that through 3 of his sons. Who knows? You're probably related to one of these 3. But this little incident happens where Noah gets drunk. And one of his sons does something that gets Noah very upset. And so Noah calls a curse on him and his whole lineage. Then we're going to hear by name all the major descendants of Noah's sons. And some of these names will be strange, but some of them will be very familiar to you. Like one of their sons was named Egypt. And then we break away from the narrative and we jump over to the plains of Babylonia, where the people plan on building a huge tower, a temple tower. Well, God actually comes down and checks it out. Well, you'll have to hear God's review of this so-called tower and watch what he does. And we're also continuing in the New Testament. In the book of Matthew, Jesus has begun teaching the people, but he's also healing the people. So people go to Jesus because sometimes they are suffering or they're in some sort of pain, while others go to hear what Jesus has to say. And you'll begin to hear some of the commands from Christ and how they relate to the teachings in the Old Testament, what we should do with the laws and teachings of Moses. So stay with us to hear all the details. If you enjoy the show, visit me at patreon.com/storymaster. You'll find the link in the description box below. By contributing as little as $1 per month, you will enable me to continue this ministry, and you'll get cool rewards too. Together, we're going to get through the Bible in 1 year. Let's get started. Genesis chapter 9, verses 18 to 29. Problems in Noah's family. Noah had 3 sons who came out of the boat with him. They were Shem, Ham, who became the father of Canaan, and Japheth. All the people on earth came from these 3 sons of Noah. Noah was a farmer, and the first thing he did after the flood was to plant a vineyard. He used the grapes to make wine. One day, he drank so much that he became drunk. He went into his tent and took off all his clothes. Ham, who became the father of Canaan, saw that his father was naked and told his brothers who were outside the tent. Shem and Japheth took Noah's robe, put it across their shoulders, and walked backwards into the tent. They covered their father without looking at him. Noah was still sleeping because of the wine he had drunk. When he woke up, he learned what his youngest son Ham had done. He said,
I pray that Canaan will be under this curse. May he be a slave to his brothers.
Noah also said,
I pray that the Lord my God will bless Shem. May Canaan be his slave. May God give more land to Japheth. May Japheth and Shem live together in peace. And may Canaan be their slave.
After the flood, Noah lived 350 years. He was 950 years old when he died. Genesis chapter 10. Noah's family. This is the record of the families that came from Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. These sons all had descendants born after the flood. Japheth's descendants. Japheth's descendants were Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras. Gomer's descendants were Ashkenaz, Rephath, and Togarmah. Javan's descendants were Elisha, Tarshish, and the people of Cyprus and Rhodes. These are the people who moved to different areas along the coast. These descendants of Japheth are listed by their different families. These families had their own languages, lived in their own areas, and became different nations. Ham's descendants. Ham's descendants were Cush, Egypt, Put, and Canaan. Cush's descendants were Seba, Havilah, Sabta, Rama, and Sabteca. Rama's descendants were Sheba and Dedan. Cush also had a descendant named Nimrod, who became a powerful ruler, more powerful than anyone before him. He was also the greatest hunter in the world. That is why people still compare a good hunter to Nimrod. They say, "You are like Nimrod, the greatest hunter in the world." Nimrod's kingdom spread from Babylon to Erech, to Akkad, and then to Calneh in the land of Babylonia. Nimrod also went into Assyria, where he built the cities of Nineveh, Rehoboth, Calah, and Resen. Resen is the city between Nineveh and the great city of Calah. Egypt was the ancestor of the people of Lud, Anam, Lehab, Naphtah, Pathros, Caslah, where the Philistines came from, and Caphtor. Canaan's oldest son was Sidon, the ancestor of the Sidonians. He also had a son named Heth, the ancestor of the Hittites. Canaan was also the ancestor of the Jebusites, Amorites, Girgashites, Hivites, Archites, Sinites, Arvadites, Zemarites, and Hamathites. Later, the families of Canaan spread to different parts of the land until their territory covered a large area. It went from Sidon down along the coast to Gerar and Gaza. From Gaza, it went as far east as Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, and Zeboim, as far as Lasha. These descendants of Ham are listed by their different families. These families had their own languages, lived in their own areas, and became different nations. Shem's descendants. Shem was Japheth's older brother. Shem was the ancestor of all the descendants of Eber. Shem's descendants were Elam, Ashur, Arphaxad, Lud, and Aram. Aram's descendants were Uz, Hul, Gether, and Mash. Arphaxad had a son named Shelah, who was the father of Eber. Eber had two sons. One was named Peleg. He was given this name because during his life, the people of the world were divided. The other son was named Joktan. Joktan was the ancestor of Almadad, Shelef, Hazarmarveth, Jerah, Hadoram, Uzal, Diklah, Obal, Abimael, Sheba, Ophir, Havilah, and Jobab. These were all Joktan's descendants. They lived in the area between Mesha and Safar, and the eastern hill country. These descendants of Shem are listed by their different families. These families had their own languages, lived in their own areas, and became different nations. This completes the list of Noah's sons and the families who descended from them. They are listed by the nations they formed. From these families came the nations that spread over the earth after the flood. Genesis chapter 11, verses 1 through 9. The Tower of Babel. At first, everyone in the world spoke the same language and used the same words. Then people began to move from the east. When they came to a plain in the land of Babylonia, they settled there. One day they had the idea of building a temple city with a tower. They did not have stone there, so they said to each other,
"We can make bricks of mud and bake them until they are hard."
They used bricks like stones, and they used tar like mortar to hold the bricks together. Then the people said,
"Building this will keep us together so that we will not be scattered all over the world. Come, let's build the city with a tower that will reach to the sky. It will be a monument that will cause people to remember us."
And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower, and he said,
These people all speak the same language. They have joined together to do this work. This is only the beginning of what they can do. Soon nothing will be able to stop them from doing whatever they plan. Come, let us go down and change the language they speak so that they will not understand each other.
And that is how the Lord stopped them from building the city and caused them to scatter all over the earth. So that place is now called Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of the whole world. This is how he scattered them all over the earth. Matthew chapter 4, verses 23 to 25. Jesus went everywhere in the region of Galilee. He taught in the synagogues and told the good news about God's kingdom. And he healed all the people's diseases and sicknesses. The news about Jesus spread all over Syria, and people brought to him all those who were sick. They were suffering from different kinds of diseases and pain. Some had demons inside them. Some suffered from seizures, and some were paralyzed. Jesus healed them all. Large crowds followed him, people from Galilee, the 10 towns, Jerusalem, Judea, and the area across the Jordan River. Matthew chapter 5, verses 1 through 20. Jesus teaches the people. When Jesus saw the crowds of people, he went up on a hill and sat down. His followers came to him, and Jesus began teaching them. Great blessings belong to those who know they are spiritually in need. God's kingdom belongs to them. Great blessings belong to those who are sad now. God will comfort them. Great blessings belong to those who are humble. The whole earth will be theirs. Great blessings belong to those who long for God's justice. God will fully satisfy them. Great blessings belong to those who show mercy to others. Mercy will be given to them. Great blessings belong to those whose thoughts are pure. They will see God. Great blessings belong to those who work to bring peace. God will call them his sons and daughters. Great blessings belong to those who suffer persecution for doing what is right. God's kingdom belongs to them. People will insult you and hurt you. They will lie and say all kinds of evil things about you because you follow me. But when they do that, know that great blessings belong to you. Be happy about it. Be very glad because you have a great reward waiting for you in heaven. Be glad that you are like the prophets who lived long ago. People did these same bad things to them. You are the salt that the people on earth need. But if the salt loses its taste, it cannot be made salty again, and then it is good for nothing except to be thrown out for people to walk on. You are the light that shines for the world to see. You are like a city built on a hill that cannot be hidden. People don't light a lamp and then hide it under a bowl. They put it on a lampstand. Then the light shines for everyone in the house. In the same way, you should be a light for other people. Live so that they will see the good things you do and praise your Father in heaven. Don't think that I've come to destroy the law of Moses or the teachings of the prophets. I have come not to destroy their teachings, but to give full meaning to them. I assure you that as long as heaven and earth last, nothing will disappear from the law. The law will not lose a single letter or the smallest part of a letter until everything God planned has been completed. A person should obey every command in the law, even one that does not seem important. Whoever refuses to obey any command and teaches others not to obey it will be the least important in God's kingdom. But whoever obeys the law and teaches others to obey it will be great in God's kingdom. I am telling you that you must obey the law in a more meaningful way than the teachers of the law and the Pharisees. If you are not more pleasing to God than they are, you will never enter God's kingdom. Psalm chapter 4. For the music director with stringed instruments, a psalm of David. God, you showed that I was innocent. You gave me relief from all my troubles. So listen to me now when I call to you for help. Be kind to me and hear my prayer. Men, how long will you try to dishonor me? Do you enjoy wasting your time searching for new lies against me? Salah. You can be sure that anyone who serves the Lord faithfully is special to him. The Lord listens when I pray to him. Tremble with fear and stop sinning. As you lie in bed, think about this and be calm. Salah. Offer the right sacrifices to the Lord and put your trust in him. Many people say,
We wish we could enjoy the good life. Lord, give us some of those blessings.
but you, Lord, have made me happier than they will ever be with all their wine and grain. When I go to bed, I sleep in peace, because you, Lord, keep me safe. Amen, everybody. That concludes day 5. Be sure to join us in the next episode. We'll be hearing more details about Shem's family and Terah's family, and we'll get to hear the origin story of one of the most important people in the Bible, Abraham, whose name was at first simply Abram. He's the father of all of God's people. How did all this begin? Stay with us to find out. As we continue in the book of Matthew, Jesus continues his preaching, and he'll talk about some controversial issues like sexual sin and divorce, and what to do if somebody were to slap you in the face. We hope you enjoyed today's verses. Be sure to leave us a positive review and to share this podcast with your friends and family. Please join us for the next episode as we experience the Bible in 1 year.
Did you know we offer online courses in creative writing, literature, and web design? Visit us at storymaster.online to learn more.